saw it earlier today, so I just thought I'll come on and do the same thing because I owe you guys at least what's going on. So the new moon has not been sighted. The new moon has, as of right now, as I sit in this vehicle, the new moon has not been sighted yet. I mean, as I sit here, it could have been sighted, but they haven't put it in the computers. Um, the site that I go to, Red New Moon or something like that .com. So the new moon has not been sighted yet. Also, his video is really short, so I'm gonna actually add a couple of things to my video. So the thing I saw one of my brothers, Jerry Tony, do is he took Solarium and he went ahead and went to the 27th, which is where he was able to sight the new moon. And it's pretty neat. You can download Stellarium. I think I'm saying it right. You can download that. I'm gonna do it tonight because I want to see. So I want to see something on there. What I wanted to see is it the whole um, thing? If it's the moon at her feet, covered with the sun, the 12 planets on the top of her head, the crown of 12 planets. I just want to see if it matches all the way. But anyway, it might not be a big deal. But if you take 28 of September 2022 and back up 7 years exactly, you'll fall to, of course, 28th of um, 2000, September 2015 exactly. Now, the sign that Jerry Doney pointed out it was actually very close to the Revelations 12 sign for tomorrow. Very close to it. The moon is at her feet. She's covered in the sun. I don't know about Venus, but everything else from what he showed was pretty accurate. Um, like I said before, I don't know if there's 12 crowns on her head or not. He didn't go into any of that stuff. He was just showing the sun and the moon and how they look at this time. To For the Revelations 12 sign, which happened in 2017, we know that seems to fit exactly what the Bible was describing. But I had a guy on Facebook say, "Oh, this is what Daniel described," and I was like asking him. I said, "Daniel, you mean Revelation? You mean John, right? Revelations 12?" And he was like, "Daniel's, I don't know what he was actually getting at, but it's actually Revelations 12." Now, what's peculiar about the whole thing is in Revelations 12 it says that the child was called up to heaven, and tomorrow, from what I know, so I'm gonna go home and I'm going to download Solarium, and I'm going to see if it fits. If it fits with the 12 crowns on the head, but it might not even matter. It might just be a sign from God that it's a 7-year warning. And like I said in the previous video, um, I just got on YouTube on June, so my audience is not going to be really that big because I would have had to build an audience up, and God would have had to build the audience, which He did because I only had 1,000 subscribers about a month ago, about a month and a half ago. Actually, I'm lying, 3 months ago. So, but being that you know people aren't listening to me because I don't have no subscribers, but I said the other day that it'd be funny if there's nothing happening during Feast of Trumpets, and what it does is it sets in motion all the prophecies perfectly. For instance, where they say two women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken, one will be left. Well, an individual on Facebook, a couple of individuals on Facebook, and one of my sisters on Facebook was saying, "Well, it can't be Feast of Trumpets because they'll be at work." Well, the complaint is my brother, one of my brothers, did a article, and he was saying that well they started Feast of Trumpets 2 days later. And that was me. I was actually saying that by I didn't hear anybody else say it. I was just complaining about it. Why are they doing it? Why won't they just wait and blow the trumpets? But people got to make money. People got to go back to work. People got to do their thing. So they would rather play it by the numbers. It sounds like something the West would do. Play it by the numbers. Or we'll just go ahead and do the ceremonial stuff, and we let everything else take care of itself. If God want to intervene, that's fine with him. That's fine with me. Fine with me. And that's exactly what happened. Two men will be um, in the field. One will be taken. One will be left. And they were like, "Oh, the Feast of Trumpets. That means then it can't be the Feast of Trumpets because they'll be at work." Well, it looks like they're not at work right now. I mean, it looks like they're at work right now, rather. And they were not at work on the 25th. So God don't need nobody to blow no horn. God don't need nobody to blow nothing. I think somebody's gonna blow it, but somebody's smart enough to figure it out. Hey, we were late, so let's go ahead and blow these trumpets. And they're gonna go through the process. I was talking to somebody on Facebook, and they were like, "Oh, you just blow them all together." No, 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 no. You can't blow the last trumpet all together with the other ones because it won't be the last trumpet. Um, so if nothing happens tomorrow, I'm fine with that. I'll just wait because I think hell is hot. That's just. I'm at that position now. Hell is hot, so I'll wait. But do I think he's coming back? There's a good possibility that all the stuff that's taking place with Russia right now is setting the stage for Ezekiel 38 and 39. To me, that's what it looks like it's doing. And Russia needs more. So they know they. I don't know if God puts the ideal in his mind early on, or does he just do it overnight? Because maybe they were trying to do something else, and God says, "Okay, go attack Israel." But at the process that we're doing now, I said two videos ago, I, two videos ago, I said the stock market's probably not even going to crash on Monday, and I said it probably won't crash until the new moon sighted. Am I right? Am I right? Did it crash yet? Well, it's already been crashing, but you know what I mean. Ultimate, you know. I think it's gonna after the church is gone. I mean, it could start like today. I mean, it could fit. If you see the markets gain 200, 300 points and then erase all of that, then you got an issue. But the markets on the other side of the world are collapsing. But I see how they collapsing them. They're actually taking their money. They're actually taking money from the markets because it's going so slow that they're taking it, not just picking. They're they're gradually don't really understand that there's eventually going to be a grand transfer of wealth a little bit later on where they lose all their money and they tell the caves and the rocks to fall on them and hide us from all the. I mean, you'll never be able to keep all of that money anyway because it's God's money. I mean, it's not God's money because it's dirty money, but if God owns everything, you won't be able. You're not going to keep that money. Don't even think you're going to keep it. You're dead. You're a dead man. And I have a saying: everybody alive today will not be alive in about 8 years from here. I look you right now and tell you that. Y'all know that. So God is a wonderful God. He's awesome. He's majestical. He knows all. I mean, this God is so great. It'd take me eternity just to tell you how great God is. And I don't know if it's going to fit tomorrow. It's just another coincidence. It is either going to be another coincidence or God was trying to tell us something. You know, the son, God is trying to tell us something. Well, God is trying to tell us something because the Revelations 12 sign is coming back tomorrow. Now, I don't know if it's actually to the T, but all I need is the sun, the covered in the sun and the moon at their feet. And that's telling me a lot. That's just telling me, hey, we're doing this. I'm taking my church out. Yeah, so if you're ready or not, here I come. And so let me read some of these. You know, oh, they do make it easy for you to read them. I don't even know. Israel is 7 hours ahead of the Eastern Standard Time. Yes. No, not yet. But sometimes, like last year, they spotted the new moon, but they never said anything on this one website until like the 4 or 5 hours later. So don't be surprised if the new moon is already cited. They just ain't say it on any of the websites. There's like 3 or 4 websites that I remember from last year and remember from the past, which I'm going to probably use and update to you guys when I do a video next time. But the next time I do a video, it'll probably be really quickly. It won't be like 20 minutes. It'll be really fast. But you do see everything going, and for some reason, we know the Feast of Trumpets is on the now, okay? But for some reason, we keep seeing the October time frame, and my brain does not. How do you think all that stuff is going to happen on the Feast of Trumpets by itself, but you don't think all that stuff can happen on um on in October, November, half of November? I mean, you saying I'm saying to myself that all that stuff can happen in 3 days, but it can't happen in 45 days. So it looks like to me, I'm not for sure. I could be wrong. All of this stuff is going to transpire. If it's now, it's going to transpire in the next 45 days. All the biblical wars, not all of them, but first of all, Israel has to fight its immediate neighbors, and they're going to take some land. And I'll say, give or take, about after that war, give or take, if it's not the same war. And here's the question: is Ezekiel 38 and 39 followed by um, well, I don't want to hear anybody in the chat room say Psalms 83 is not a war. It is Ezekiel 38 followed by Israel fighting its immediate neighbors. I mean, what I mean by that is it's the same like 3 or 4 days. Because it seems like to me in Isaiah 17, it says, before evening you are not. And then it says at the end of Isaiah 17, it says the nations will rush in like a mighty wind. That seems like to me that Isaiah 17 came from Israel fighting his immediate neighbors, and Syria was involved. So Israel tried to stop Iran by hitting Damascus. And Russia invaded Israel because of that. Now, is there going to be like a pause, or is there going to be a series of a couple of confrontations where Israel just smacks some people, and then Russia kind of sees, okay, I can come in there and do it, or is it all going to be one compact war? Which that could happen too. Here's another question for you guys. The the and please don't tell me the club of Rome. I'm gonna smack myself if somebody tell me it's the club of Rome. Please, because you're not reading the Bible correctly. It is gonna be the club of Rome when the Antichrist divides the world up for gain. He divides the world into 10 regions. Um, so the 10 kings which they are not countries. Please don't tell me they're nations. I'm going to throw up. They're not nations. Even in their paperwork, even in their articles and their charters, and they're talking about getting rid of sovereignty. You know what that means? They don't want any nation states. So they're dealing with regions. You know what I'm saying? Providences. So the Mediterranean Union, started by Nikolai Sarkozy in 2008, will probably be the perfect entity. Now, it could be something else that they create overnight. But you're going to see 10 kings, if you're left behind, you get, excuse me, you're going to see 10 kings come, and out of the 10 kings, there's going to be a little horn come, and he's going to subdue 3 of the first 10, not rip them up or shred them up to pieces. He's going to take them over. Kindly take them over. When the Bible tells Abraham to go subdue, when it tells Noah to go subdue, subdue means kindly cultivate. So you get the Mediterranean Union, which is Europe will have 5, Africa will have 2, the Mediterranean, the Middle East will have 3. So who do you think the Antichrist is going to subdue? He's subduing 3 of the people in the Middle East, or the regions in the Middle East. So he's making a caliphate. The Antichrist don't give a darn about no Muslim stuff. He don't care about that. He's more Western. So when the Antichrist comes, he gonna exhibit Chrislam. He's not gonna exhibit Christianity or Muslim or being a Muslim. He's gonna exhibit, but he's not even that. He's a fake Chrislam. He's actually new. He's actually a devil worshiper. He's New Age, but he's devil worshiper, and he's actually a self worshiper. He worships himself. So you got to see all this stuff pop off before Christmas. Just, if you're still here, this is what this is. If you're still here now, the rapture happens tomorrow, Thursday. It'll be Thursday morning. If like my brother said, what is his name? Garvin, I forgot his name. Man, Finley, something like that. Anyway, he says it's either the first. It's either when you spot the new moon, it's either God is counting the 1 day or 2 days. I think according to Solarium, he's counting the 2 days because it matches the Revelations 12 sign on the 28th. So that means we'll go into Thursday here in America if it's a Thursday rapture. And I never thought about a Thursday rapture in my whole entire life. We don't know the day and hour. Never thought it. So I took care of that post-tribber person. I mean, I don't even want to hear it. I'm so sick of post-tribbers. Sorry. Sorry, forgive me. Forgive me, people, for I'm just saying I'm sick of post-tribbers. They don't have nothing to gain. What do they have? They miserable just like everybody else. They don't have no special nothing. You can't do nothing for me. What can you do for me, post-tribber? What can you do for me, mid-tribber? Nothing. You can't do anything for me. What are you gonna do? Give me blessed hope? Encourage me that I got to go through the tribulation period? Yeah, I gotta clean. I gotta stand in front of God. I gotta sit here and pray to God when I'm done with y'all, and walk around the park and make sure I'm right with God. You're not gonna steal my reward. You don't come up in here and try to steal somebody's reward. Oh man! And you know I already been getting my butt kicked by Satan. I didn't do it. And listen, I know it's Satan because early, all last year, all earlier this year, all the way up until about God told me Satan about to try to kick your tail, shift you. He goes, he goes shift. What's the word? Shift, shift. What did he say to Peter? He said the devil's about to kick your tail. he, I can tell it's the devil I had some visions, and I had visions at the old house, and now I had some visions just as clear as day. He said, "You got to get attacked, but you're not gonna flinch." And I know what they God's visions. I know what God's thoughts are. I've been reading the Bible. So if you get a stupid thought, sometimes the thought's so stupid you just dismiss. You know how you tell a classroom dismiss, and they just get up and run into the desk, and they all run into each other and get out the classroom. I just tell my thoughts dismissed. That's the dumbest thought I've ever. I even tell them. I say, Satan, that's the dumbest thought I've ever had in my whole entire life. That's you. I already know that's you. And a lot of times the devil can't touch you. He can just get you here. He can just get you here. And the devil can't like send a robber to your house. He can't give you a car accident. He can't get somebody to shoot you at the ATM unless God tell him anyway that he can do it. So I wouldn't fear the devil at all. I mean, I'll give him his respect, but I said, what respect? You can't give the devil no. Yeah, you can. I'm not giving no. I'm not speaking evil of no dignitaries. I'm not speaking evil of no Satan. I let God handle that. That's up to God. I ain't telling Satan I'm gonna kick your butt, slew for the devil. I would say I'll keep my mouth shut. The battle is the Lord's. So anyway, look, folks. In this video, it's amazing times to be alive. If it happens, hold on to your seat, especially if you're on the Pacific Northwest. It happens early in the morning. You say, you know, a day and hour. No, I'm just thinking if the moon sighted like it is, because right now it's 9:30. It's supposed to already been sighted already between 8:30 and 9:30 my time in the morning time. So it should have already been sighted. That's what they did last year. That's what they did 2017 to 2030. It's already been probably sighted because it was already a clear day anyway. It's already been sighted. They just not putting it on the websites yet. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not. Don't give me the lie. But I think it's probably already been sighted. So we're gonna get to heaven. We're gonna find out that a lot of people were lying. A lot of people were following doctrines of demons. A lot of people were following their own conniving ways. A lot of people were following famous pastors who really didn't get it in the first place. I love Amir Safari, but you have to see the whole. I know everybody loves him. I like Amir, but sometimes he says some stuff that's off, and I'm not the smartest guy in the world. Sometimes I might even say some stuff that's off. Jack Van Impe. I love Jack Van Impe. Sometimes he says some off stuff. Every pastor, I can't find one pastor that hasn't said anything off. Now I like my man Hughes. He seems to kind of be on sometimes, but then he'll kind of cater to his guests sometimes, and he's kind of a person who can have anybody on his show. So I can't, I don't give him as much, but I like him. I like a lot of. Don't get me wrong. I love a lot of these pastors who are talking about Bible prophecy, but they get on my nerves sometimes. Like there's one pastor, he really gets on my nerves, and I can't remember. I'm not gonna say his name, but he gets on my nerves because he kind of like poo poos a lot of the things that a lot of us believe. You know, the simple man is gonna get it right better than these guys are. Do you know what I mean by that? The layman, the one that's sitting in the pew, they're gonna be me and you gonna be the ones getting it right, not them. And I've noticed that most of the stuff that they say, the reason why I like Amir Safari because he gives us intel from the Middle East. But other than everything else, sometimes he says really good things. Like I listen to his preaching, I love some of his preaching. But then again, some of his preaching, I don't like it because he kind of poo-poos like the Feast of Trumpets. How can you poo-poo the Feast of Trumpets? How can you poo-poo the Passover? Oh, that's Jewish customs. Well, did you go to church on Easter? Yeah. Okay then. They crack me up when they stick their foot in their mouth. I love my brothers and sisters, but they stick. A lot of us stick our foots in our mouth, and then I'll just come back with about couple of lines, couple of words, and then just I don't hear nothing from them no more. This is, did you go to church on Easter? And then sometimes to make sure they don't come back and say, no, I don't celebrate that pagan holiday. I say, well, did you do Passover? Or do you believe Passover or Easter? So in other words, Feast of Trumpets is the Lord's feast. Oh, those are Jewish feasts. No, they're the Lord's feast. The reason why the Jewish people observe it, and they don't even observe it. They do it 2 days later. They do observe it. I'll give them the credit for it. I'll give all of us the credit for it because even Mark Blitz blew the trumpet, and they have a wonderful ceremony. And then this other brother that's going to actually, he did it Sunday, but he's actually going to do it again tonight or tomorrow. Well, is it tomorrow or tonight? Tonight, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it is easy. It's easy to get the big head. God took me off of YouTube because I had a big head. I got a really big head, but I mean, I think that's why God took me off of YouTube and put me in the hellhole. He put me on Blog Talk, which I got 400,000, views, and it was a slow pace, really slow, gradual. Facebook was the same thing, slow and gradual, because he knew that if I go on YouTube, I started off getting 75,000 views in one video within 30, 40 minutes. God says, I'm taking you off of YouTube. I said, why? He said, get rid of that video right there. And I got rid of the video. It says, go on Facebook because you got you too your flesh will take over, and you don't want that to happen. And I said why? And then I went on Facebook and started talking about repentance. I said, oh, I get it. So you wanted me to talk about repentance rather than the news? Yeah, the new moon is probably seen. I mean, I can guess that. I mean, I'm sitting here talking to y'all, and I can guess because I've sat in this very, not in this very spot, but in this very park, many a Feast of Trumpets, talking to you guys, giving people updates, and then saying that because of sandstorms or storms or different reasons, the moon was not sighted. But now I'm telling y'all, it's a clear day. They already believed that they were going to see the moon. They probably already saw it, probably about 8:30 or 6:30 their time. Maybe not exactly 6:30, maybe 6:45, maybe 7:20, something like that. And we know it. So now the clock starts. Now is the if the rapture if the rapture happens, does it happen on on Wednesday or Thursday? You know what I'm saying? But the solarium that Jerry Tony did was excellent, where it pinpoints that the new moon will be sighted on the 27th, and then at the moon be at our feet on the 28th. So if the rapture does happen tomorrow, it'll be just like a normal day like today. The sun's shining, the birds singing, just like I told you guys, just like I said it. I told you, and I said it was me. It was my flesh. It wasn't God. Thus says the Lord. I think it was God pointing me to that because I kept when I was reading Noah, and I was like scratching my head. I was like, Noah, he said, just in the days of Noah, they were eating and drinking. I kept just saying eating and drinking, giving in marriage. You can't have World War 55 and expect the rapture to happen when it's saying eating and drinking, and that means they're carrying on business as usual. Yeah, from one day to the next. Yep, yep. A twinkle of an eye. So he's either gonna come tomorrow at this time he already been the rapture already would have happened. It's either tomorrow or the next day. I'm looking more toward the 28th if it happens. I think it's gonna happen because I see everything else setting up, and it's getting creepy out there. It's getting creepy where Russia, Russia's doing things, and I said I ain't stupid. I just don't understand what they're doing, but I know they're setting up. He's setting up for something. I don't know his initial plan, but God said I'll put an idea in your head. So he's going to do something else, but God's going to deter him to do something else, which is invade Israel. But it's probably because Israel already kicked somebody's butt in the first place. So October is going to be a hell of a month. Y'all gonna sit up here and get ready for Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. Pray to God that anybody that's left behind gets some turkeys. I ain't trying to be funny or nothing, but I'm praying that people have a good Thanksgiving still. Be thankful for being still alive, even though they missed the rapture. Um, and get ready because it's going to be a hard 7 years, and I don't think most people are even going to make it out of the 3.5 years. So everybody's talking about, oh, the election, midterm elections. Oh, well, okay, that's going to save America. I mean, doggone, making America great again didn't even save America. So what makes you think the midterm elections and the 2024 election is going to save anything? It ain't going to save nothing. You know why it's not going to save nothing? Because they got everything rigged. Everything's rigged. So that discourages me. Nothing on earth can keep me here unless I got something that I don't know about. Nothing's gonna keep me here. Nothing. There ain't no NBA, ain't no football, ain't no getting a new house, ain't no starting a new business, ain't no grandchildren, ain't no my child graduated from high school. My child, I'm like, child, you need to get your butt ready to get on that ark, because I'm telling you, you're gonna graduate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was. I don't know how else to say that your life is practically not. You'd be better off just going and listening for the trumpet sound. Nobody's gonna be alive, and halfway through, half the population is dead halfway through the tribulation period. Why are you gonna graduate from high school for? That's just, you're a downer, Phil. Debbie Downer. No, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just saying. And a lot of people are going to be, um, I'm not saying this in a mean way, a lot of people are going to be exposed because a lot of these TV preachers, it cracks me up to see T.D. Jakes on Left Behind, and then he gets left behind. He gets left behind. I ain't laughing at it. I'm just saying it's just weird how he's on Left Behind, but then he's not really preaching the real gospel. I hate it how they should let these okay, and Oates, it says an old prophecy book tells that there will be so few people in Europe that you can walk around 3 days without meeting. And what do you mean as far as the tribulation is concerned? Because people in Europe ain't born again. So I know you ain't talking about the rapture. Europe left Jesus a long time ago. They worse than America. I don't know. We might be a tie. You know what's worse than anything is somebody who really looks like a Christian. That's scary because I have to make sure I'm not really looking like one, and then I got hidden stuff. Like I tell you, the devil is trying to ping, 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 ping. I don't know. I was telling my listeners, I was telling everybody that the moon might have already been sighted. They just ain't updated it on the website yet. They're just trying to get confirmation. Uh, I'm not so sure if Elijah and Moses or Elijah and Enoch is the ones who are sighting the moon or not, or sighted it. I'm not so sure. That's just something interesting to talk about. It'd be nice if we had like a clue that was it. I don't know if they just gotta let that all play out because it'll make some sense for Elijah and Moses to go up in there and say, because before the great, he says, I'm gonna send them before the great. Am I misinterpreting that? Let me go read that a little bit later. I'll talk to y'all later on tonight. But is it I should send Elijah before the great terrible day of the Lord? Now is he talking about before the day of the Lord? Because the day of the Lord, the rapture starts the day of the Lord. The rapture takes off the cap. It's like perfume. The rapture, when you move the thing off the perfume, it smells up the whole room. What do you mean to watch 25th to the 27th? No, they haven't even spotted the new moon yet. Now, I think people are missing the point, and I see Bible prophecy come off the pages. I see it come off the pages. Listen, y'all. I already mentioned two men, two women at the ground and at the mill. One be taking the other to the left. Oh, they're supposed to be at work. Oh, that's not the Feast of Trumpets. No, they're not. They started 2 days later, so they are working now. Another thing cracks me up. Dang, I lost my chain of thought. I was thinking about 50 things at the same time. I lost my train of thought. I was only supposed to come on here for about 2 minutes like my brother did and tell y'all that the moon's not been sighted. So I'll do that. I'll do that the next video. I'll just come on and say, hey, the moon has been sighted and the moon has not been sighted. But I'll get on here, man, and just start sharing things because like I said before, I do struggle with some things about, okay, am I going to miss the rapture or not? And there's some people on here probably do the same thing. I had a guy come into a plasma bank in 2005, six, maybe seven, 6 or 7. I'm sorry, my bad. I am so far off. In 96 or 7, he came into a plasma bank, and I was getting ready to go do plasma so I could go buy some more beer. And a guy sat in front of me. He started talking to me. He said, "What are your plans?" I said, "Well, I was gonna go out west because I was in Michigan. I was gonna go out west with $240 in my pocket." He said, "How much money you got?" I said, $240. He said, "Well," he didn't even respond to nothing or laugh at me or nothing because I'm, the known people laugh if you tell them you got $250 to go out west. So he says, "Go home, pray about it, read Philippians 1:6, and then ask God what He wants you to do." So I went there and did that. God told me to go rejoin the army. I know that sounds pitiful, but when I rejoined the army, the first 2 days I was there, where I ended up going to Germany. The first day I was in Germany, a guy came and asked me if I'd have died tonight, where would I go? So I knew that was God. But the thing about Philippians 1:6 today is I know it was God because he says that God will continue working you into the day of Jesus Christ. That's the day of the rapture of the church. So when you're thinking you're not going to make the rapture, go read Philippians 1:6. God has continued to work in you into the day of Jesus Christ. And He personally gave me that verse. So I'm hanging off that verse. I'm hanging off a couple of dreams I've had. I had a dream once that I was raptured, and when I was asleep, I couldn't see anything. It was black, but took my whole body was transported up about a couple of thousand feet, and I dropped in the bed and woke up. And I was like, yeah, that dream by itself kind of convinced me that was God, and only God can do something like that to make me think that that was the rapture, and nothing else. I man, I've heard one person say they had the same type of dream, maybe two people, but that dream told me that hey, I'm going to be raptured. And people, a couple more things before I get off is they were saying God saves everyone. God covers sin. It's going to be a lot of surprised people, and I'm trying to make sure I'm not a surprised person. Listen, folks, God wrote the Bible for a reason. And in Colossians chapter 3, Galatians, Ephesians, there are lists. These people, Romans, these people will not inherit the kingdom of God. Grab that Bible really quickly and go down that list. And if you are one of those things, repent. Ask God to forgive me. Ask God to forgive you. Say, forgive me, Lord, of any of these sins. If it's anger, if it's malice, if it's strife, am I bitter towards somebody? You better hurry up and do it. And go down those lists. Don't sit up here thinking God already covered all your sins when you first got saved, because that's a lie. You better do that now, for you find out you're still here after the rapture of the church. Please go do it now. Go spend some time with the Lord. Don't have to be all crunched up in the fetal position, in the prayer position, so you can get a Charlie horse. Ask God to forgive you for all your sins that you don't know nothing about. I don't even care if y'all get on here talking about some bull crap. Hey, God has forgiven me. I don't know. You expected me to ask Him to forgive me for everything. If you don't know about something, just say forgive me for whatever I don't even know about. But go down the stuff that you have a chance to know about. If you got any wicked thoughts, you better control those thoughts before tomorrow. I'm serious. God, casting down imaginations that are everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. Don't have no stuff fishing around here. I mean, I did a video. The lady accused me of making salvation too hard. Enter in through the straight gate. Nobody's paying attention to Jesus. They just make him this happy, nice person instead of saying, enter in through the narrow gate. The narrow gate. How many people? The disciples came and asked them, how many people are going to make it? Very few. Why? Strive to enter in through the straight gate. The devil is your enemy. The devil has people believing all kinds of doctrines. The devil has you believing that you don't have to repent. He has you thinking that if you're doing this or doing that, you have to. Then he has you thinking if you're shacking up with somebody, you're okay. But then he has it so if you're taking too many of your drugs, you're doubling up on your drugs, you're okay. Well, if you're doubling up on your drugs, it better been from the doctor. Now, if you're taking away from your drugs, sometime I tell my doctor, hey, I can't take them pills, so I'm gonna have to take some. I'm gonna test. Then he tells me to go test it. Don't take the pills for about 2 or 3 days, and then see how you feel. But don't go and double up or triple up on pain medicine because you might be addicted. And then you're sitting on here as a watchman talking about Jesus is coming. What about alcohol? Are you still taking swigs? Well, ask God to give you power to not to do that. Ask God to help you. Hey, look, thief on the cross promised versus 5 foolish virgins. Go get your own oil. Which one is one? Why did the thief on the cross? Why is deathbed of repentance okay if the 5 virgins had to go back and get their own oil? Because the 5 virgins were already in the premise that they were good in the first place. While the thief on the cross didn't think so. So it's hard to tell somebody to go get their own oil. When they went to go get their own oil, the door is shut. What does that mean? I still don't know what it means. I gave a clue what it might mean um, about 2 years ago, and I said that if there's nothing going on during the Feast of Trumpets, whenever he comes, if there's nothing going on for that day, then no one's going to be able to say, oh, what's going on? Can you tell us what's going on? Oh, my God, how do I get right with God? Oh, my gosh, go get your own oil. Go read your own Bible. That's the only way that would kick in. So what I was thinking is it's not even actually happening until the real true church is gone, and then they're asking they're going back and seeking from those people, why was I left behind? Go get your own oil. That's the only thing I can think of. Because God is foreknowledge. God is not. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. He's way over us. It goes over our head. Everything. We're just humans. We don't know nothing. We know enough, but we don't know nothing. And then we sit here and we question God and we get mad at God and we get ticked off at God, including me. And then we don't realize how smart God is. He's not. The word smart is probably not even able to be used with God. I mean, He's created all things. Why are we going to question the one who creates all things? It's stupid. I can't believe I came on here for 2 minutes and I'm on here for 45 minutes. Anyway, me and my wife's supposed to be going hanging out, going to shopping, going to get some extra food just in case somebody needs it for this weekend, because you never know. If the rapture happens, y'all better go get some groceries, because if the rapture happens and y'all have some left behind relatives, I know you want to slap me right now. If you have some left behind people who, or maybe some uncle that want to come in the house and take all the food, y'all got sandwich. Can I have Sam? You got this uncle that want to come and eat up all your food on Sunday because your mom can cook. I had my cousin used to do that though. It wasn't my uncle, it was my cousin. Him and his daughter would show up, and they know they coming over there to get some of Jesse's cooking. But you always got that uncle, or you always got that cousin, or you always got that older cousin who want to eat up all your food. So this would be a good weekend to go extra shopping for people that's gonna be hanging around your house if the rapture happens and people are left behind. Because then they're gonna go take everybody's gonna go take all the food off the shelves. So with all kidding behind, I'm serious. You do want to go get some extra food for people who will be in your house who ain't listening to your words you say. Make sure they're taken care of for at least 7-8 days. Be nice to have shelf food that everybody made fun of. Oh, you're one of those preppers, huh? Yeah, it ain't funny now, is it? It ain't so funny now, is it? I don't think it's that funny. But anyway, go make sure y'all get some rice and beans and spare food. Go to Costco before Costco gets so people be fighting up in Costco. I'm telling you, the rapture happens Thursday. I mean, you ain't got no chips for football. The tailgate parties are over with because they ain't gonna have no food on the shelves. Anyway, God bless you guys. Y'all have a wonderful day. I will come back on later to talk about, give y'all an update on the moon. Water filters too. Yep. If the water filters, if the water ain't too poison to get past the water filters now, because that's the word now. The water is gonna be ain't no water filters gonna work no more. But go get some water filters anyway for about at least about a year before they really poison the water. Maybe two. Give you a chance to 2 years. Anyway, God bless you guys. Have a wonderful morning, and I'll see y'all to give y'all an update on the moon sighting, and then I might do a video later on tonight, and then if the Lord wills, tomorrow night as well. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, or day, morning, whatever.